Elon Musk has unveiled a Tesla Cybercab without a steering wheel and an Optimus humanoid robot, announcing that the future is here.
What happens if you need a vehicle that is bigger than a Model Y? Now, can you imagine going down the streets and you see this coming towards you? That'd be sick.
Afterwards, Optimus can do pretty much anything around the house. The starting point is around $30,000. But the spooky thing is, though, there's been a lot of movies where this didn't go well.
Look at that. Look at this. Tell me that thing don't look like War Machine.
Specifically Fallen Angels, but continue. And this was it. But we're gonna slow it way the heck down.
It looks like a goblin is attached to it. Check out her dog's reaction.
The reason that all your computer screens are blue lit, the reason none of them are red lit, the reason none of them pay attention to circadian biology is because that original technology was developed in a government program that...
So, little known fact, 11 from Stranger Things was based solely off one person. Her name is Nina. She's a badass.
Sun depth, because the sun detoxifies you by giving you electromagnetic energy. They tell you about the magnetic fields of magnets, but they don't tell you about the magnetic field around your body. Disease shows up in this field before it manifests physically in your body. The sun is electric, the earth is magnetic, and you are electromagnetic. This is why the ancients had grounding shoes to ground to the magnetic earth. Canes were not just for fashion, they were used for conductors.
See that hole? It lines up with Polaris, the North Pole Star. All year, if you look at nighttime through on the other side, that hole goes up and the North Pole Star is right in the middle.
This ground you're standing on, I stand up right now. This ground that you're standing on right now, he walked on the same very ground. You better lock in and buckle up, bucko, because you're in for another creepy and scary TikTok reaction video. You want to be careful with these disturbing and scary videos because they might change your reality and keep you up all night. All different types of weird, mind-spinning, strange, and weird theories. Keep your head on a straight swivel. Without further ado, let's dive into today's video. And remember, this video is for entertainment purposes only. It is up to us to distinguish fact from fiction and do our own research on everything. Nothing on this video is factual.
So, little known fact, 11 from Stranger Things was based solely off one person. Her name is Nina. She's a badass. I'll show a video that American researchers smuggled out of Russia of her just moving stuff with her mind. It's pretty unreal. Now, Nina joined the army at 14 and was driving tanks around for Russia, but later in her life figured out she could move stuff with her mind. She claims she got it from her mom. Now, this sent America for a trip and was the birthplace of one of my favorite CIA documents, Research in Human Paranormal Capabilities. Now, you would think with something like this, the CIA is going to look at it and go, that's absolutely crazy. They found it remarkably accurate. Now, these abilities some people seem to have are not just confined to moving things with your mind. Some people can see things when they're not there. Now, where it gets crazy is the CIA found out that Russia had very accurate plans and descriptions of their nuclear sites, military bases, CIA black sites, all kinds of crazy things. And when they looked into how the Soviets got this info, they got it from psychics. And that was the birthplace of remote viewing, seeing things when you're not there. America started researching it heavily. They even brought in just normal psychologists to try to get some hold on what was going on. What did the psychologists say? It's remarkably accurate. It's an evidence of a telepathical mental process that's not yet understood. And this lady Nina, the 11 from Stranger Things, they started testing her, not just with their eyes. They didn't just watch her move stuff. They hooked her up to machines, did all kinds of extensive things. And they found out that when she did these demonstrations of her abilities, everything in her body process sped up like crazy. Her heartbeat, brain activity, electromagnetic fields around her started pulsating in rhythm. I mean, her pulse went up to 240 beats per minute when she did this. The video covers all of it. I'll show you in just a second. But as America caught on to this, they thought there was really something to it. They had their own Americans doing this kind of thing too. And they started scouring historical records to see if this is a new thing with humans, or some of them have it, or if it's an innate ability that everybody has. And again, this is relevant because it's in the CIA file. They took this with weight, but in scouring history, they found a king that thought oracles were just full of it, just total BS. So he found 7 oracles and said, I want you guys to tell me exactly what I'm doing on this date and time, and then he left. Upon doing his weird task and returning, 6 of the 7 oracles were wrong, but one of them was right, and it's crazy because this is not something you could guess. The oracle told him exactly what he did. He cut up a tortoise and a lamb into pieces, put them in a brazen cauldron, and boiled them with a brass lid on top. That is exactly what the man was doing. And this was in 550 BC. That's the first case of remote viewing that's ever been seen. And of course, he used it to fight the Persians. Now, here's where the waters are going to get a bit muddied. This info is straight from the Soviets, and this was intercepted by the CIA. So some scientists put Nina, or 11, in a room, a controlled environment, and had her stop and start a frog's heart multiple times, just with her mind, and she was like 10 feet away. Now, yeah, if you take a frog's heart out of its body and suspend it in liquid, of course it's going to stop without, an electrical impulse. But she stopped it and then started it again, and demonstrated this multiple times. It also claims she lost 3 pounds doing this. But I know you came here to watch the video of her doing her stuff, so here you go.
Or PK. Ninel Kulagina is a Russian housewife who has this ability. These films of her demonstrating PK were made in a Russian hotel room and smuggled out of the country by American researchers. She gets the object moving with gestures of her hands or by fixating the object with nothing more than her eyes. Kulagina has been studied intensively for more than 10 years by Professor Sergeyev of Leningrad University, who has reported on her work. These films and demonstrations are subjects of unending controversy. Is she a sensitive or a charlatan? According to those present at these demonstrations, it sometimes takes Mrs. Kulagina 2 to 4 hours to rev up her supernormal powers. Her pulse races to 250 beats a minute. She loses up to 3 pounds after a demonstration of psychokinesis.
So, little known...
Psychokinesis? Are you kidding me? I think it was real for entertainment purposes. It took her 2 hours to, really lock in 250 beats per minute. Man, if you guys see me looking at my watch, I'm timing mine. So it's like I'm always seeing if my heart rate's getting elevated, just that's crazy.
Then the ice starts to go from smooth to starting to break up here.
Like, where aren't we right now? What planet is this? Just take a photo picture. I like how that Earth is meeting the glacier. See that interesting shape?
Oh wow, yeah. Then the ice starts to go from smooth to starting to break up here.
Like, where aren't we right now? What planet is this? Just take a photo picture. I like how that Earth is meeting the glacier. See that interesting shape?
Oh wow, yeah. Just mesmerized. I've never seen terrain like this.
It's so insane, isn't it? Because this is right at the edge of it. Pools of water.
Ice. Like cold. I don't even know what
like nothing you've ever seen.
Nothing like nothing.
It blows away anything we've seen so far.
Just like blown away looking up at the walls and the peaks next to us. Oh man, the ice below us is that's like the Grand Canyon of ice.
Yep.
Then the ice starts to go from smooth to...
I don't even know where to begin from our last video. Well, a couple videos back when we're going beyond the ice wall. It's just like, I don't even know where to begin.
I think by this point, a lot of us realize that yes, satellites are above our head, and yes, they are being held up by giant helium-filled balloons. NASA even admits this. But I also think there's something else going on up there, and I want to get into it in this video. I want to first give credit where credit is due. My good friend 7 Club in this video started me thinking about this video that I'm going to show you right now. So go give him a follow and especially watch that pinned video. You see, he got me thinking about liquid oxygen. And there's a funny thing about liquid oxygen. It's magnetic.
This is a powerful magnet. If we pour liquid nitrogen between its poles, nothing happens. However, when we pour liquid oxygen between the poles, it is visibly attracted. This indicates that oxygen is magnetic and belongs to the category of paramagnetic substances. If we freeze oxygen into a solid state, it will also be attracted to the magnet like iron.
So with that in mind, let's pretend, just for a minute, that what we're seeing here isn't the Earth rotating, but actually a enclosed system that is rotating around us. And again, let's pretend, just for fun, that the higher you go, the colder things get. And let's pretend that that enclosure above us is so high up that it's cold enough that the oxygen turns either to ice or to liquid. Now let's also pretend, just for a second, that all these SpaceX and NASA rockets that we see supposedly launching satellites into space aren't launching them into space, but maybe just inserting them into that liquid oxygen very high up next to that closed container we're all in. And if liquid oxygen is somehow magnetic, well, we would just need to find some sort of substance or material that would soften the blow and then attract.
It's a strong neodymium magnet, and this is a thick copper plate. Normally, copper's not really very magnetic. It's not really wanting to stick to it, but drop the magnet onto the copper and watch this. I could watch that all day. This is explained by Lenz's law. In the copper, the electrons swirl, and they create their own magnetic field. And the magnetic field of the electrons in the copper opposes the magnetic field that's trying to change them. So the two magnetic fields slow down the magnet.
And then imagine, if you will, that they created a much simpler, easier, cheaper way to shoot things up into the structure that is covering our heads. Again, hypothetical structure. I don't really believe there's a firmament above us. But I guess even if they did manage to shoot these things up into the imaginary dome above our head that just happens to have liquid oxygen right below its surface, they would just sit there. It's not like they would be able to move them around our heads. I mean, for that to happen, there would have to be some sort of, I don't know, like propulsion device or something. But again, this was just all for shits and gigs. I'm a satire account, and this was for entertainment. Because I know there are thousands upon thousands and thousands of satellites in orbit around the circular, spinning globe Earth. Duh. Entertainment only.
This would be a great method for people to use beyond the ice wall. I'm just saying. It'll be a great method of travel. Especially if they're locked in there. They could be locked in for a minute. I'm just saying, that could be like a railway to different worlds. Just saying.
I think by this point, a lot of us realize.
What did you invent?
I invented the EHG, or Energy Horizon Gatherer, and it's an energy initiative to collect cosmic energy.
And how would you explain cosmic energy to someone who's never heard of it before?
Well, simply, cosmic energy is the expansion of space that is reverberated out. So space expands, and as it does, it releases cosmic radiation. When this cosmic radiation hits our atmosphere, it transfers into the ionosphere and sends billions of particles of charged ions, raining down on us in quantities, billions. And so I attract them in and pick them up and collect their charge.
Awesome, and use that to make energy that we can use. So where do you see this invention going, and has it been difficult to develop along the way?
Well, first of all, it has, yes. There's a lot of trial and error. It's the scientific process, so there's always failure involved. As far as it goes, though, hopefully by the end of this year, we'll have 2 million homes powered on this energy device in India, and soon after that, whoever else might need it.
That's awesome. And what advice would you give to young inventors out there who might want to give it a go?
Well, first of all, there's no lack of studying. You always need to make sure that you know your facts and your materials as well. And of course, just study nature and the world around you, because there's no other substitute for that either. Just experiment.
Awesome. Stay curious. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Scope.
All right. Happy to be here.
What up, bro? Did you know that there's this hole right here? See that hole? It lines up with Polaris, the North Pole Star, all year. If you look at nighttime through on the other side, that hole goes up, and the North Pole Star is right in the middle, and it happens year round. This is actually proof that the Earth is stationary Earth. And that's why this costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to build, right? This is what they want for the New World Order, of course. But the point is, they know what the Earth is, right? This thing wouldn't work if the Earth was spinning 1,000 miles an hour, shooting 66,000 miles per hour around the sun. It literally wouldn't work. It gets even worse though, guys. On the side here, it's actually a calendar. So if you see this right here, this is a calendar. So if you look through this, you can track the sun every day throughout the year. There's a certain year where it will be right in the middle on the solstice. It's a calendar. Okay? They buried a time capsule over here. Yep. And it tells you all about the astronomical abilities of it, right? This is some crazy stuff. So, channel through stone indicates celestial pole. That's the little hole that you see the North Star through every day for thousands of years. Horizontal slot indicates annual travel of sun, which is that right there, which is how you get the solstice. Sunbeam through the capstone marks noontime throughout the year. There's a slit in the top. When it's exactly 12 o'clock, the sun will be right in the middle of it. This is because the sky does the same thing and resets every year. This will always be accurate. That's why I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars building it. Or it would be a waste of money, right? It would only be right 1 year or something.
So there you go. The Georgia Guidestones, not only was they basically the New World Order written in stone, there was also a complete astronomical clock. Obviously there's been a massive rise in people questioning the nature of reality and where they live and how they got here. So they've had to cover the tracks. Obviously people are exposing Agenda 21 of the United Nations and obviously what people are calling the New World Order, which is basically exactly what was written on them stones.
The sky is literally purple. The energy.
Harp can create some of the effects that the sun creates that are similar to the aurora borealis.
Harp can paint designs in the sky, if you will. You know, it can take the beam and move it in any pattern that the scientist who's doing an experiment might want to do.
Look at that bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. Facility. It's not the only one like it in the world. Harp has some capabilities that we feel are better than some of the others. You can change the frequencies. You can shift the beam so that you can move it from one part of the ionosphere to another, and it has quite a bit more power than some of the other facilities throughout the world that are doing the same kinds of research.
Because it can be aimed. Picture holding your microwave oven in your hands with the door open. Then you can move it around and send those microwaves different directions. Control of where the power was, I felt that was the best type of antenna to use. And that is the kind that Harp has built.
Zoom. They tell you that the sun hurts you, but they don't tell you that the old hospitals used to have sun depths. Because the sun detoxifies you by giving you electromagnetic energy. They tell you about the magnetic fields of magnets, but they don't tell you about the magnetic field around your body. Disease shows up in this field before it manifests physically in your body. The sun is electric, the earth is magnetic, and you are electromagnetic. This is why the ancients had grounding shoes to ground to the magnetic earth. Canes were not just for fashion, they were used for conductors of electromagnetic energy to ground the body to the earth. Now we wear sunglasses to block the sun's healing rays to entering our nervous system. We have lost true connection with our true nature, been turned into electrical batteries running through a matrix circuit board. Next stage of the human awakening begins October 8th. This is a revolution of human consciousness. If you don't agree with this video, you are heavily programmed. They tell you that the sun hurts you, but they don't tell you that the old hospitals used to have sun depths.
I do need to sit out in the sun today, man. I've just been feeling like I need to be recharged.
The reason that all your computer screens are blue lit, the reason none of them are red lit, the reason none of them pay attention to circadian biology is because that original technology was developed in a government program that Bobby Kennedy knows about, and I happen to know about because I went to medical school at LSU. For those of you who've never heard about Operation Paperclip, you think it's all conspiracy theory. So at two-lane neurology and two-lane neurosurgery in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s, the CIA started a program there where they would do all these crazy things to monkeys. And the CIA wanted to see how they could control things utilizing different things like drugs and things like that. Where the neurosurgeons got involved, which is my clade, we would drill the tops of the heads off, put wires into the thalamus, put electricity in there, and kind of see what kind of behavioral changes we could have. One of the guys that was in that program was a guy named Professor Delgado. He got the idea to take it in a bigger animal. When he saw that we could control the behavior with the wired device, he said, what if we do it wirelessly? So he checked it in monkeys and checked it in bulls, and it turned out you can do it wirelessly with RFID chips and semiconductors. And the CIA took it to the next level. They said, well, since this is electromagnetic radiation and they begin on wirelessly, what if we did it through light through screens? And it turns out you can. And that's the reason why all your computer screens have the frequencies they have. So why is this all important?
I wish to ad lib. We are living in a computer programmed reality, and the only clue we have to it is when some variable is changed and some alteration in our reality occurs. This too might account for the sensation people get of having lived past lives.
There's a law in physics that basically says that when you have energy that is vibrating at a particular frequency, within 17 seconds, other energy like that will be attracted to it. So if I'm having a positive thought or a negative thought, then what happens is that energy is attracted to it. I have other thoughts that are like that thought. So if you do that 17 seconds, 17 seconds, 17, for 68 seconds, then momentum begins to occur. Let's say that I'm normally, all of our emotions have a frequency to it. So if I'm in despair or anger or worry, all of those are lower, denser frequencies. You get into things like contentment, happiness, joy, love. Those are higher, faster frequencies. So let's say that I normally live in contentment. And that's my set point, because that's where I live. I think about that all the time. That's what my makeup is, that sort of thing. So I'm driving down the highway. All of a sudden a car cuts me off, and I get angry. So now I'm in the lower, denser frequencies. And so then I go back to the office, and I'm telling all my colleagues, here's what happened. This knucklehead cut me off. Go home, tell my wife that. What am I doing? I'm vibrating angry energy. So I go to the supermarket, and there is somebody in line. I have 3 items, and I'm getting in line, and somebody ahead of me has 38 items. And the guy that's running the cash register, it's his first day, and he's not doing very well. He's very slow. Is that a coincidence? No, it's something for me to get angry about. So I'm attracting into my world whatever it is that I'm vibrating. There's a law in physics that basically says...
Damn, that's kind of true. Like, that's why I try to spread positive vibes, man. If I got 38 items in my cart and I see someone's got 3, before I check out, bro, you go ahead of me. The first will be last and the last will be first.
This man right here, if his inventions were taken seriously, the world would be in a completely different place today. Victor Schauberger, born in the 1800s, had a strong fascination with water, forests, and the natural world. Through his years, he postulated that water is self-organizing and actually conscious. He thought that modern-day science was mechanistic and materialistic and didn't take into account energies, frequencies, vibration like Nikola Tesla, and spirituality. One of his inventions was a water structuring device. And if we use these today, we wouldn't have to use chlorine and other strange chemicals they add to the water to clean it. With his invention, it cleans water by structuring it molecularly. He referred to this as living water. He invented water turbines that generated electricity from water without pressure or heat. He also used copper coils to harness water's electrical potential. As it implodes, there's a little electrical current that's what he used to harness it. Kind of sounds like free energy. He made implosion motors, engines that ran on water or air power without combustion or explosion. And he also made literal flying saucers, at least according to his studies, science, research, and the things that came out from him. He used electrical coils to ionize air molecules and create a plasma field around the hull of this basically UFO. Unfortunately, he was offered a deal to go to Texas to get a bunch of money to help improve his work and develop his work into being used around the world. And unfortunately, he signed a deceptive contract which signed away his life work to an element of the U.S. military. And he perished shortly after.
Why am I not surprised? If you got some type of serious invention like that, keep it to yourself and give it to the people that need it. probably why they had the bells back in the day too, to eliminate all those parasites, because they couldn't stand the vibration. Shout out to that Black Goo episode, man. If you guys haven't seen that episode with the aliens being real for entertainment purposes, go watch that. That video, we went through there on there.
They caught fallen angels on live TV. Okay, I know Florida's in major danger and they're doing the biggest evacuation in like 10 years, but I have to show you this. This is gonna blow your mind and we're going to go down rabbit holes you did not even know existed. So this kid and his dad were watching TV and they're watching right after a missile was shot, I believe around one of the Middle Eastern places we can't speak of. And he said he saw a demon or an angel flying right at the same time. Or like right after it happened. I'm gonna show you that, then I'm gonna slow it down, then we're gonna go from there.
Okay, me and my dad were just sitting here watching Fox News. And I think we just accidentally seen Fox News just showed either angels or demons coming in after a missile.
Specifically fallen angels, but continue. And this was it. But we're going to slow it way the heck down. Now we're going to watch it slow down and enhance. So you can see it's flapping its wings going that way. Let me get out the way. And down at the bottom right, you're going to see it again very clearly flapping its wings like a man. Man angel. Now, what if I told you that this has been caught before, but many times, and even further, a magazine cover predicted it? This, my friend, is a video of Mothman from, like, Fox or some kind of news. Quite literally a man with wings. You can watch the full video. Very known piece of film. How do I know he's a fallen angel? He has a day of worship once a year, Mothman Day. And he shows up at the signs of natural disasters. Let's get to that magazine I was telling you guys about. Here is The Economist magazine from 2012, Mayan Doomsday. There's so many things we could say about this, but that's not why we're here. By the way, Return of the Wolf, Satan. Anyways, he said the demon or the angel, which is the fallen angel, was seen with a missile. You see it yet? That's right, here they are. Pause this and look at the names on the head. Yo, I'll be darned, this right here is insane. Let me know what you think down in the comments.
How he was flapping his arms.
There are a few things that make me stop and take a breath. And that book is one of them. Somebody threw a Hail Mary almost 1,000 years in the future. It's an illuminated manuscript, which means there's gold foil throughout the book to illuminate certain pictures. Very different from almost any other Bible written in the time. But the weirdest thing in the whole book is that picture. Not his face. It presents God as an architect, which was kind of a weird stance at the time. 700-ish years later, William Blake brought this back with those two paintings up there. What's weird is the ball. So if you imagine that you're looking out to the edge of the universe from above Earth, that is what it would look like. This is called a logarithmic picture of the universe. Image is set up by perception. Music people, this is how equalizers work. So that image...
You cannot tell me in a one-on-one... A bee scientifically cannot fly with its body weight and the size of its wings. Cannot. It shouldn't be able to. Right? True. But there's actually real things that are going on. They don't really just use their wings to flap air to fly. What they're doing is they're using vibration to make themselves fly. They're using frequency to make themselves fly. You know when they put sand on a table and they play a certain hertz, a certain frequency of sound, what happens to sand? It creates like hexagons. It creates like certain patterns. What is a honeycomb? Oh, it's the same thing? It's the same thing. It's hexagons. How do they make that shape? It's because of the vibration they're moving at. Now, why is honey literally probably the only food naturally that doesn't go bad? Like fungus can't grow on it. It's so pure. It has all of these nutrients. It's very good for humans. Very good for everyone. But it doesn't go bad and it stays so pure.
Shout out to Yehukanan. That's all he ate was honey and locusts.
What makes it that way? It's been blessed by the frequency of the bees. And it's put into that, people call it like sacred geometry. That's what they call it.
Oh, it's sacred geometry.
The hexagon, because the honeycomb is literally a hexagon. When what they do, they throw up the pollen into the thing, and then they use their vibration to create it.
Damn, I didn't know that.
A bee, scientific.
That vibration, them bees. It's good though. I believe that because I think even on the Bee movie that they said they're not even supposed to fly. If you guys watch the kids' Bee movie, it said technically we're not supposed to fly or something along those lines. But it makes sense that they're able to fly with the vibration. That's a gem, y'all. There's something with this vibration that they ain't telling us.
You were meant to find this video. Are you not curious about why we are told that all ancient marvels like these were built with basic tools like chisels and hammers? Today, we dive into where this incredible knowledge came from. It all stems from the Land of Moo, a massive continent conveniently left out of mainstream history books. This is where it gets much deeper. There is an article by the Courier Journal that came out in 1925, nearly 100 years ago, and it detailed Colonel Church's records. It mentions that some people were brought to India by flying machines from this land called Moo. These records also claim that Moo is the motherland of mankind and the home to the Garden of Eden. This is where it relates to all these buildings. In Moo, they had cities with palaces made from marble. They mastered the quarrying and transporting of gigantic stone blocks. Sounds like ancient Egypt to me. But they also carved those blocks into weird resemblances of human faces. What does this sound like to you? The records go on to suggest that the people of Moo navigated the air and sailed to distant lands with this rich cargo. But here is where it gets even crazier. This shows that the technology of flight existed long before the Wright brothers. Their story of creating the first plane in the 1800s is a massive lie. The information was stored for centuries and slowly released to us. Secondly, the records mention that Moo... You were meant to find this video. Are you not curious?
Are you kidding me? From lands beyond? That means they could have a whole palace in the sky. Because if we go back to the bee theory, technically they shouldn't be able to fly. But if you have the right vibration, imagine a building. I know this sounds crazy, y'all, but imagine an entire building having the right vibrational frequency, like in all those ancient buildings you see, temples you see in India. Yeah, they got gears that spin. Imagine all that in sync, given the right vibration. Those buildings possibly could have been possible of levitation. They could put pieces of paper right under certain spots of that building and they don't even touch. You know what I'm saying? So that's a video we gotta dive in deep on that, man. I'm gonna write that down for a future video and we're gonna do an entire deep dive on that. Call it Flying Buildings from Distant Lands. We're gonna go back into that ice wall, beyond the ice wall. I know y'all want me to go back, but I need to get that book first. And I need to get some pieces lined up before we dive back into that. But it's coming, y'all. I promise. I genuinely want to figure out more about that. The lands beyond. Look at that. That building they just showed you. I would not be surprised if I saw one flying. I'm telling you right now, I would not be surprised if I walked outside right now, looked up and I saw a palace or some type of building vibrating, flying in the sky. I would not be surprised.
Truth of why in the middle of the Vatican you find a statue of a pine cone instead of a statue of Jesus. In fact, pine cone symbolism is littered all throughout the Christian religion, as you can see on the Pope's staff. Here's the pine cone. Here's another example of the pine cone on the Pope's staff. And you can also find pine cone symbolism in many churches across the world. Oddly enough, pine cone symbolism can be found all over our ancient past. This is the staff of Osiris, an ancient Egyptian god. And you can see the pine cone being held by ancient Sumerian gods. Now it's funny because doesn't the Christian religion claim that what the Egyptians practiced was devil worship and evil? So why are they using the same symbolism? Now what people don't know is the pine cone is a representation of our pineal gland or our third eye. The word pineal has the same root as pine cone, and it exhibits a similar spine.
Before he gets too deep, you know, Christianity, we don't be rocking pine cones like that. I'm just going to put that out there in the middle of this video. We do not do that. If anything, it's going to be a cross, but I'm going to let him continue.
Spiral pattern or flower of life pattern as the pineal gland. Now the eye of Horus is a representation of our pineal gland in the middle of our brain, and the pineal gland is responsible for producing DMT, which is the link between the inner and the outer worlds. It is the God gland, and the truth is always hidden in plain sight. You just need the eye to see. Peace and love. The shocking truth of...
Yeah, y'all gotta be careful with that pineal gland spirituality. You know what I'm saying? We are God's type energy. I get it, man, but that's my stance is, man, that ain't doing no salvation to nobody. That ain't saving no souls. But just trying to elevate people to do what? What are you trying to do? Have a astro project when you go to sleep, then come right back? You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. You know, drop in the comments below. I'm genuinely interested if you feel like this is some type of I can't even tell you. It just doesn't calculate in my brain when there's so much answers. There's so much. His handiwork cannot be denied out here, you know. So I eat the meat and spit out the bones on these videos, y'all. You see something good, you eat the meat, but when they start talking that spirituality stuff, you spit out the bones. You know what I'm saying? But it's interesting, but you gotta learn to eat the meat and spit out the bones.
It looks like a goblin is attached to it. Check out her dog's reaction. How it's centered and focused on the tree and its hackles raised. That's truly telling. And as she passes the tree, it gets even more terrifying. It almost looks like a demon face. Take a look at this and tell me.
That dog is like, hey, I'm not trusting this. I'm ready to bite him off. Yeah, that looks like a damn goblin. Where is this at?
What you think?
Tell me you see that. Do you see that in the tree? What? Yeah. Uh-huh. He sees it. Oh, God. We're going. He also sees a bird. What the? Look it. Oh, what?
It looks like a goblin is attached to it. Check out her dog's reaction.
It kind of changed when they moved different directions, but from that view, it definitely gave me that lamb tartary vibes, the lamb of Tartary. Oh my goodness, that changed me forever. You know, that lamb of Tartary. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you need to watch my lamb video. I think it's under the live tab. But yeah, we gotta go back to that. There's so much stuff I want to go back to, guys. I got a list of stuff, honestly, and we got to do the telescope lives. I gotta put my my list together of what I'm gonna buy, because I'm gonna get the cell phone holder. I'm getting a powerful telescope, and I would do that daily. Just tap in with y'all for an hour once I get it. I just gotta find a spot that's clear. Like if it's a clear night, best believe we're doing a telescope live. So be expecting those 100%. I always had an extreme passion for astrology, looking at the stars. I go out, I never miss a full moon. I go out there and just look for hours with the naked eye. That's just, I love that stuff.
I feel like we've stepped into the movie I, Robot. I mean, honestly, Will Smith has warned us about this, and this is now a reality. Elon Musk has unveiled his newest creations. One is the Robo van that holds up to 20 people, and Optimus, the robot. That they both literally look like they were just taken from the movie and plugged into the real world. I don't know about this, y'all. Take a look at this and tell me what you think.
Something that anyone could own. So you can have your own personal R2D.
The new Cybercab. Cybercab looks amazing. I know. I'm trying to get a ride. Dude, me too.
And directly, I mean, that's just...
Elon, he's a techno king. Optimus can talk?
Yeah. He also does sign language.
You give a peace sign, Optimus. Can you do the peace sign? There he is. That's
I got another one.
There you go.
Oh.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Can you give a hell?
I feel like we've stepped into the movie
The Robo van? I ain't gonna lie, that looked sweet. You know, it's about time we start looking like we in the future on some Jetson type stuffs. But again, you know, the lithium mining and all that is brought new light to how I really feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Is it really worth destroying our environment to, you know, get the lithium ion? I don't know. For entertainment purposes only.
What happens if you need a vehicle that is bigger than a Model Y? Now, can you imagine going down the streets and you see this coming towards you? That'd be sick. So this can carry up to 20 people, and it can also transport goods. The Robo is what's gonna solve for high density. What happens if you need a vehicle that is bigger than a Model Y? Now, can you imagine going down the streets and you see this coming towards you? That'd be sick. So this can carry up to 20 people, and it can also transport goods. The Robo is what's gonna solve for high density. What happens if you need a vehicle?
Quite fantastic. Oh, and what happens if you need a vehicle that is bigger than a Model Y? What? You were the Tesla van! Optimus! It's insane, it's even talking. Hi to my friend John.
John? Where's John?
Hey, he threw up the horns earlier.
Okay, this is wild. Meet Optimus. Tesla have just revealed their new robot that can help you with chores around the house, such as watering your plants. If you've got guests over, they can post for photos and pour your drinks. Optimus will even serve you your drinks and clean up afterwards. Optimus can do pretty much anything around the house. The starting point is around $30,000. But the spooky thing is though, there's been a lot of movies where this didn't go well. It's due to enter mass production in 2025, so you'll have to wait over a year to buy one. Not only this, Tesla also showed off their new Robo van that can fit 20 people in. But we're not finished there either. Also, a cyber cab. You'll notice one thing, no steering wheel. Both of these are driverless. Using the Tesla app, you can summon a cab and it will arrive at your location, just like Uber, but with no driver. If this takes off, taxi drivers will face big problems because Elon Musk says this will only cost 18 cents per mile and taxi services will not be able to compete.
Can you imagine that? Instead of people catching Ubers, they're going to say, man, I got to catch a Tesla, man. People probably going to be taking those things across countries in 20 years. Yeesh. through my head is there's nothing new under the sun. So I'm thinking, how could they possibly have been doing something like this back in the day? Would there be like fossilized cars or something like that? Let's type that in real quick. We're going to keep diving down this Tesla hole, but we want to see. And you got to think about this, y'all. If they trying to mass produce these and what we've been looking at, they going to need lithium. And you got to think about that, you know, that deal Tesla's got with who they get their lithium manufacturer from. So where are they getting all this new lithium to get these cyber cabs, that new cyber van? Sounds like they need a lot of lithium. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. But let's look into fossilized cars or petrified cars or something, because I'm like, nothing new's under the sun, right? Then where was these? This is the only thing I could find. And if you look, this thing, they really don't have a steering wheel from what I can see. But this is literally the only thing I can find. So maybe there isn't nothing new under the sun. Maybe they were flying and we couldn't see them, and just the resets didn't happen. So many resets. I need to write that down because we need to cover the resets more, man, honestly. But yeah, let me know your thoughts below. I'm not seeing no steering wheel with those.
Elon Musk has unveiled a Tesla Cybercab without a steering wheel and an Optimus humanoid robot, announcing that the future is here. Tesla launched the much-anticipated Robo taxi at an event in Los Angeles overnight, with CEO Elon Musk saying drivers would be able to make passive income from the new developments. He confirmed that the Cybercab would go into production in 2026 and cost less than $30,000. Elon Musk has unveiled a Tesla Cybercab.
2026, less than $30,000. Where are they getting that lithium? I'm saying again, where are they getting all these lithium batteries? Unless these are coming out to be hydrogen powered, which I doubt, because they got all this firmware, all this type of technology geared towards lithium. So it's like, where are they getting this lithium from? Because they contract ends in 2024. You know, if you ain't watched my last video, please go watch that video. I dive in deep into those contracts. So just something to think about.
So our autonomous future is here. As I said, we've got 50 Teslas driving autonomously. We're trying to give you a sense of what cities will be like in the future. And when you get in, you'll see like it's really quite a wild experience to just be in a car with no steering wheel, no pedals, no controls, and it feels great.
Them boys gonna drive you straight to them camps. I'm just kidding. For entertainment purposes only. I like a good old school, man. I don't even got a car right now. I'm trying to get me a old school. I ain't gonna lie. But I did drive something new recently. My mom, she got a real new car, like a 2024, and it was smooth. You know what I'm saying? I was driving that thing. I was like, man, this thing, you can't even hear it start. You can't, you know. I can definitely appreciate the new technology that goes in the car, but at the same time, I need something old school, man. I'm trying to get me like a 03, 04 Excursion with a V10 in it, you know, like in between 150 and 200,000 miles, and I'm gonna put like a 2022, 2024 F250 face on it, and I'm gonna lift that boy. That's my dream car. You know what I'm saying? So drop what y'all driving, man. Y'all proud of y'all vehicles? Y'all got something nice? Drop in the comments what type of car you driving, man. That might be the code word. You know what I'm saying? Drop The code word, I'm not doing it at the end of the video. I'm doing it now. So I'm trying to catch y'all off guard. Just in case some of y'all might just click at the end of the video just to get the code word. But guess what? I'm doing the code word now. If you drop what type of car you drive, you know, say, oh, I drive a van, you know, just tell me what you guys driving, you know what I'm saying? So I get ideas. If you guys got a car you absolutely love, definitely drive it. But I'll come up with another code word down towards the end of the video. If you just like, man, I just drive whatever, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I used to drive whatever, but you know. That thing looks like War Machine coming up. Look at that. Now look at this. Let me type it in real quick. War Machine. Can I spell? War Machine. Marvel. That thing got a war machine. You see that? Now look at this. Look at that. Look at this. Tell me that thing don't look like War Machine off Marvel. Crazy.
Rest is to be in deep rest. It means your body and mind are resting too much, and you're missing this one thing from your daily routine. Consider yourself lucky if you're seeing this. It's probably the most important thing you'll hear all day, and chances are the algorithm's not going to show this to a lot of people. According to human energy field theory and quantum physics, everything is energy. From our thoughts to all that you see around you, it's all energy vibrating at different frequencies. And the only reason you and I exist is to turn the energy of our thoughts into physical reality. These ideas are commonly dismissed by the masses as hippie woo-woo nonsense, but more and more quantum theories are actually starting to provide a scientific basis for it. Everything is energy. Even Einstein said it with E equals MC squared. Your thoughts, your body, every physical object around you is energy. Emerging theoretical sciences like quantum physics or string theory are slowly uncovering what ancient mystics may have already known for thousands of years. Humans are the force by which the energy field of thinking is converted to become the energy of the physical world. Look around you. Almost everything you see used to be a thought that became real when people partook in the process of creation. This fidget spinner was once just a thought that only existed in someone's mind before the actions were taken to turn it into a physical object. The same applies to non-physical creations like music, ideologies, businesses, and theories. A human's main purpose is to create, and if we go prolonged periods without doing that, we end up in a state of deep rest. Depressed. When was the last time you created something, worked on a side project outside of school or work that you're just excited to work on? It's in moments like those, when we're working towards creating something that we are genuinely passionate about, that we feel the most alive and the furthest from being depressed. We get inspired to create through our information diet. The content we consume, watch, listen to, read about, all either fuels or inhibits our ability to create. Every thought that has entered your head, every bit of information you've consumed in your life has led you up until this point right here. There's a reason we loved stupid cartoons, Lego, coloring books, playing in the sand, or even Minecraft when we were younger. They're all tools, part of our information diet, that if used right can inspire creation. A great childhood consists of consistent creating and imagination, which is why life felt so light and free back then. When we get bogged down with work, school, chores, responsibilities, errands, and are too tired at the end of the day to create, we start getting sad and gloomy. The happiest people are the ones who take on side projects, hobbies, mini passion obsessions on their own terms outside of work or school, or even just those who genuinely love their jobs. Because they are creating something with some sort of end vision in mind. They are turning the energy of their thoughts into physical manifestations. And when they achieve that vision, they move on to the next thing, enjoying the process more than they do the end result. Doctors will never tell you this, because depression is a multi-billion-dollar industry with all the pharmaceuticals and therapists that are meant meant to keep you hooked on that low state so they can keep getting paid. To be honest, it's kind of the reason I started making these videos. I was bored with where my life was and started creating something I was genuinely interested in and shared it with others. Now, depression may very well be a chemical imbalance in your brain that needs physical attention, so this is not medical advice by any means. But don't use that as an excuse to not even try to create, to work on something meaningful in your life. Don't let those doubtful thoughts in your mind or even the opposing comments on this video put you down. Every human brain will feel happier if they are creating, working on something they genuinely love and believe in every single day. Jordan Peterson said it best: work as hard as you possibly can on at least one thing every single day and see what happens. Give it a shot. Think about everything you loved doing when you were younger and write it all down in a giant list. Then narrow it down to a handful of root reasons as to why you were interested in everything in that list to begin with. Read that list every day and fine-tune your information diet to only things that support that list, and eventually a stroke of inspiration, an idea so amazing that you will have no choice but to pursue it, will hit you. And that idea will cause your mind to shift and to actually be genuinely excited to create whatever that thing is in your life and awaken from your state of deep rest. Try it if you feel like you're ever stuck in a mental rut. Change your mind and you will change your life. Being depressed is to be in deep rest.
Damn, y'all, I really needed to hear that. I'm not gonna lie. I really need to hear that. I really need to get that telescope and do these lives I was talking about, because that's a project I genuinely want to do. I've always wanted to do that, and I have the opportunity to do that now. So I needed to hear that. And I work every day doing these videos, you know, I genuinely enjoy. So if that could be a testimony to literally what he just said. So yeah, and I want to dive off into that ice wall, you know what I'm saying, behind the ice wall, and I want to get that book. So that's something I literally want to do, and I'm going to do it, y'all. If you guys got something you wanted to do, please do it. Write it down. You know, I write down while I'm doing these videos, I write down so much. I got a whole books, you know, full of the information, you know, I be researching in. Look at this. Castle, Stargate, Wayne State. That must have been that Tartarian episode. Chicken Itzaniza, El Dorado. That must have been that pyramid video I did. You know what I'm saying? I literally write the stuff down. You know what I'm saying? But I do need some sunlight in my life. Like, I'm probably going to wrap this video up and I'm just going to sit out in the sun for an hour or two. Just let the sun bathe. Just let that sun hit my skin. I feel good, man. I honestly feel good. But I know I can feel better if I work out and I let that sun hit me, because I'm always inside recording these videos. I got that light beaming on me, you know, this artificial light beaming on me. You know what I'm saying? I need some real vitamin D in my life, that sun. So yeah, y'all, what a beautiful video, man. I'm not posting on my back foot like normally, so I got time today, but I do want to have a little time to myself today.
Hello out there. I'd like to show what I learned yesterday about these numbers again. They won't leave me alone. All right, we got 0, 9, 18, 27, 36. All I did was added nines to these. 36, 45, 54, 63.
Hold on. I'm stopping them right here, because y'all know what I always say. Dark Waters 9. I didn't say Dark Waters 2. I didn't say Dark Waters 3. I say Dark Waters 9. So let me see what this is saying.
72, 81, 90. And what I noticed was, if you start with the 0, you get 0, 1, 2, 3. I'm skipping numbers. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you start from the back. You get the same thing. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if this was some type of computer program or sequential program, it would just go back and forth like this, continually. So the first thing came to my mind was a scripture in the Bible, and this is in the book of Enoch, 24th chapter, and it reads, Enoch is talking about, well, this is the Most High talking to Enoch, and he's talking about the way things were before anything was created. It says, for before all things were visible, I alone used to go about in the invisible things, like the sun, from east to west and from west to east. Notice that, east to west and from west to east. Look, it's like this. Now, I'm not telling you that
the quantum realm. If you ask me, the quantum realm we cannot see or prove, but we know it's there. Well, we can prove it doing the split helix test, but that's for another video.
told me this is what he's doing, but I find it kind of strange how when you line these numbers up with the number 9, because 9 is like the holiest number out there, and when you do that, it sequences itself like this, east to west and from west to east. Let me show you what else I learned. The numbers on each side of the 4 and the 5 actually complements each other in order to make 90. Let me give you an example. 90 and 0 is 90.
And look, tell me what this looks like. A menorah. I think that's what it's called, right? I don't know how to spell it. What's it called? Hanukkah? Menorah. Look at that. I believe this is the only holiday you really supposed to celebrate is Hanukkah. Like Christmas, Halloween, all that is... I ain't gonna get into it, man, because, you know, I hate to admit it, but it's a lot of fun. Halloween, Christmas, the lights, the ice sculptures, the cooking. I know it's pagan, but this is Hanukkah is literally the only one that you really supposed to be celebrating. And look what he just did. Wow. Tell me this isn't a menorah. From the number 9, from east to west. I didn't know this, y'all. Something just spoke to me. Dark Waters 9. Think about it. Dark Waters. We putting a light into all this darkness, y'all. Because I'm going to keep it real with y'all in every single video. The new spirituality, when they start gatekeeping, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Y'all know me. Y'all be on these waters with me daily. So think about it. Dark Waters 9. Damn, that makes sense, y'all. I didn't even know this.
81 and 9, 90. 72, 18, 90. 63, 27, 90. 54, 36, 90. And the 4 and the 5, that's 9, of course. I thought that was pretty strange, too. And here's a really good one. The numbers on this side are actually backwards from these numbers, or they're turned around. For instance, if you circle these numbers, you get a 0 and a 9 here, but you got 90 over here. You get 18 here, and you got 81. It's like the numbers are backwards. 27 is actually 72. 36 is 63. And 45 is 54. That's strange. And look at this. Look at this. If you take the 55, you're starting in the middle, 55, and then 44, you got 66, 33, 77, 22, 88. Then you got 11, 1 and 1. Then you got 99 and 0 and 0. So it looks like this. 55, 44, 66, 33, and so on. Alright, look at these two. 99, 54, 55 and 44, 99. 66, 33, 99. 77, 22, 99. 88 and 11, 99. Then at the bottom, 99. Wow. And now here is the myth buster, because we all believed, I know I did, that 9 was the only number that you can multiply by other numbers, and it'll root out to the number 9 again. For instance, if you take 9 times 8, you get 72, and 72 is 9. Come to find out, if you take any of these numbers and do that with, it would root out to 9. For instance, let's take the 18. Get a calculator right here. Alright, so we take 18 and multiply it by, say, 56 equals 108, or 10,000, or 1,008. So we take 18 multiplied by 65. Look what we get. That's 9. 7, 8, 9. 1170 is 9. Let's take another number. Let's say 27. 27 times 69 equals. Look at this. 6 and 3 is 9. 8 and 1 is 9. 9 and 9 is 18. 1 and 8 is 9. Same thing. Let's take the 36. 36 times 23 equals 8 to 8. 8 and 8 is 16 plus 2 is 18. 1 and 8 again is 9. Let's take the 45. 45 times 92. I'm just coming up with random numbers. 414. Well, 4140. 4 and 4 is 8 plus 1, 9. So all these numbers you can multiply by any other number and they will all root out to 9. And we all thought that the number 9 was the only number that could do that. So I'm going to leave that at that. Tell me what you think. God bless you. Have a great night or day.
The crazy part about that, he didn't even mention the menorah. From Hanukkah, you know that dreidel, dreidel, my little dreidel. I don't even know how the song go, man. I gotta get in touch with my roots. But the number 9, y'all, how crazy is that? Drop in the comments below if you already knew this. I didn't. I just did the number 9 because it just spoke out to me. We'll be in the darkest waters. And I'd be like, this is... SpongeBob came to mind. That episode when he had to go use the glove light and he was trying to take the bus home. He said, this isn't your normal darkness. This is advanced darkness. And then it just hit me, man. This is Dark Waters 9. This is dark. But there's still some light to be shown no matter how dark these videos get. There's light in it. That's why we call it Dark Waters 9, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to end this video 3 episodes ago. But now that just gave me some life, man. That made me hype. I could feel the spirit moving inside me. Look at my face. You could tell. Yeah? Look at my face. You know, that brought life into me seeing that. You know, I don't feel down anymore. I don't feel depressed. It's like, damn, just a little shimmer of hope brings me back to life, y'all. Just his testimony. He is life, living waters, the living waters we cannot see or drink. I can't stress to y'all how real he is, man. If you watching my videos and you just think my videos are really cool, you know, and they're just, you know, but, you know, man, he is real. God is real. YHWH, Yahuwah, his son Yahushua, they are real. I'm not just, we're not just, this isn't, you know, this isn't for just entertainment purposes only. He's really real.
I've lived for 200.
And another thing, I'm not done with you. Come back. Jesus, Yahushua. Some people call him Yahusha. Why? Some people call him Yeshua. You know, as far as I'm concerned with great seasoning, I'll say humbly that we're all talking about the same person, man. I'm not getting into no name debate. I used to be that way back in the day. The letter J was invented 500 years. Everyone has their own journey, and this information out here, you'll come to your own conclusions and do your own research. But come back here. I'm not done with you. I just want to say Jesus, I'll say this. Jesus was a real person. It's just up to you to believe whether or not this was the literal Son of God. YHWH. That's what this is about here. It's not, oh, he's an imaginary character. No, he was a real man that walked around this ground you're standing on. I stand up right now. This ground that you're standing on right now, he walked on the same very ground. It's just up to you to believe or not if this was the literal Son of God. Was this man the chosen one? But once you get out cold, you will realize he's been there the entire time. He's been here the entire time. That's what I believe. He's been here the entire time. He just came in on human form, the perfect prototype when he came down to earth. That's what I honestly believe. Drop in the comments below. Let's talk about it.
Daddy never saw anything where I could feel alive.
Stop eating that spun sugar.
You spoil your dinner.
Papa, we saw the galaxies in flood. Big waves came up and flooded the whole city. And when the water went back, it was all muddy and horrible, full of dead bodies.
Oh, look, the anything like it in the whole world.
We don't have to come here on a train or stay in a hotel. It's right in our own hometown. Grandpa, they'll never tear it down, will they?
Well, they'd better not.
I can't believe it. Right here where we live.
right here in St. Louis.
They made a movie about the World Fairs? How crazy is that? Any of you guys know what movie this is they made about the St. Louis World Fairs? Drop in the comments below. That is crazy. They had it in color.
Now, I want to show you a piece of quartz crystal in its natural form. Now, if we were to examine this carefully, we can see that the quartz crystal has a hexagonal cross-section. That is to say, it has 6 sides. Now, also, quartz crystal in its natural form has pointed ends. This one doesn't because a primary cut has already been made on this crystal. Now, let's take a look at this drawing so that we can determine more about the quartz crystal. There are 2 views. The top view indeed shows us that the quartz crystal has a hexagon shape, 6 sides. While the lower view points out that indeed the quartz crystal in its natural form does have pointed ends. Now, quartz crystal in its natural form cannot possibly be used in oscillator circuits. It must be cut in a specific manner to exhibit its piezoelectric properties.
You want some figures? Okay, latest water test. Tested the rain. 13,100 micrograms per liter of aluminum in the rain in 2013. Normally, it should be 0. So 13,100 is pretty damn much, folks. It used to be 0. Then it was 100s in the 2000s, and then since 2010, it's into the 1000s and the latest 13,100. In the snow on Mount Shasta, pristine Mount Shasta, 61,000 feet. No, excuse me, 8,000 foot level, 61,000 micrograms per liter. 4 times the amount that is found in the soil up there. Where in the hell is this stuff coming from if it's not coming from the soil? You know, these tests are international in scope. We're seeing this all over the world, guys. Okay, pH of acid soils is 20 times more alkaline. The aluminum in the soil has doubled in the last 10 years. Aluminum blocks essential nutrients. I am unable in my garden to restore normal pH, and that's because nanoparticles are now in the circulatory systems of both plants and humans. So welcome, fellow guinea pigs. The collapse and decrease of agriculture is something I worry about even more than the previous info about autism.
there is a secret here. Can you see it? If you follow my page, you probably think that this looks a lot like a Chladni pattern, which is a 2D representation of a 3D sound. But this is way different in 3D. These Chladni patterns are actually a 3D matrix that traps the particles in between these waves inside this 3D grid. And if we know where that grid is, we can shift the particle around just by changing the frequency of the sound. This is how we move things with sound. Now, there's many ways to observe this, and it's usually pretty chaotic. The chaos of these waves will just cause all these particles to move unless we use some sort of container. A better way to visualize this is when we use the water cymatics. In a bigger container, that frequency is chaotic and it spreads out. But when we contain it into a smaller area, we can see the sonic geometry that actually makes it up. One of the many secrets of sound.
By sharing some of this information with you, I am in the process of violating my national security oath. The planet Earth is and has been the subject of an extensive, massive, a very thorough and detailed study by several extraterrestrial civilizations. I have concluded in my 30 years of research that the human race is indeed a hybrid race. The evidence is literally overwhelming. The human race is a hybrid race. We have been created here. We were seeded here. And we have been genetically manipulated here from the very beginning of our recorded history. Apparently, this seems to be what has happened. Several 100,000 years ago, an intelligent race from somewhere else out there came by the planet, knew of the planet, stopped at the planet, and found a developing form of life here. Now, there are theories that the original seeding itself was done by an intelligent race from other places. But some of the theories have stated that this advanced intelligence was on an excursion, a trip, and they stopped off here and found a developing form of life and decided to manipulate that developing form of life into a higher form. And they've been involved in that off and on, but continually, for at least 100,000 years. And this fits, and I tell you it does, fit perfectly with every other story, myth, legend, history of every people on this entire planet. The human race is a hybrid. We were seeded here, and we have had what I like to call an intimate interrelationship with high technology, advanced intelligence for hundreds of thousands of years. Now, the crucial thing is it is still going on. It hasn't stopped. They are still involved. And the big question has been for many of us is, who the hell are they? And what are they doing with us? Which ties in perfectly with the ancient philosophical questions that each and every one of us has asked. Who are we? Who are we? How did we come to be here? What are we here for? And where are we going? Why is it that it's taken us so long to begin to grasp a little of the reality of who we are, why we're here, and what's going on? Well, my commitment to this thing has been growing over the years, and I will tell you that I'm involved in it, I'm committed to it, because I think that time is running out. I don't think it's going to be much longer before you see most of the answers. And the reason I share that with you is that I'm not trying to frighten you. And I'm not trying to preach or proselytize. I'm not trying to lead you in any direction. But I'm trying to say to you that in the next very few short years, you're going to be seeing things and you're going to be experiencing things that are going to literally change your life in ways you have never dreamed or imagined. You are going to learn who you are. You're going to find out why you're here, and you're going to find out where you're going.
think we've been here hundreds of thousand years. I think that we are God's chosen people, you know, if that's what he was trying to say. This definitely ties into the story of Beyond the Ice Wall, where they're trying to get in. Like, they're not able to get in, but they're trying to. But I can't go, man. Once they start talking 100,000 years, you know, that was a great story, man. I can't go with it. If you guys made it this far, be sure you leave a like. Just make sure you leave a like and you're subscribed, and also drop a comment for the algorithm. The code word for today is 9. Dark Waters 9. If you made it this far, the code word today is Dark Waters 9. Drop Dark Waters 9 into the comments below, so I know you made it all the way. My mind is just completely blown about the number 9. That was wild. But yeah, I got a lot to work on, guys. I'm trying to work on the merch. I'm tired of saying it. I need to do it, but it's just maintaining these videos. I might have to take days off sometime down the line in the future. I wanted to drop a video every single day this month, so I just gotta buckle up and dive into dropping the merch, but I want a certain quality. I just don't want to give you guys any type of quality. I gotta make sure they're high quality sweaters, and also they're price efficient for everyone. And again, guys, I can't thank you enough for everything you guys done for me. I love you guys, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next episode. Peace out. God bless.